let's say you have a contact, right? And they're not yet in your network, right? So maybe you're in their phone, you're in their phone, but you're like, dude, I feel it in my bones that this person would be a good model match to work with. I want to move them from contact to in my network and have a relationship with them. What are maybe a couple of techniques there? So contact to actual relationship in my network. And then conversely, let's say you had a relationship, you had somebody in your network where something went sideways, right? They either got enticed by another service provider or you screwed up a deal or you don't know what happened and you want to pull them back into the network. So either, you've got a lukewarm call and you've got a past really warm relationship, but for whatever reason, they've drifted into that contact phase and you want to pull them back into the network and get them as part of your relationship and your referral partner again. Give us a couple tips on that.
Sure. Well, and I think they're similar in that, they're both at the moment lukewarm. One is going from cold towards warm, potentially. The other's been hot and is headed towards cold.
Right.
There's some similarity, right? And I would say, and I definitely want to make sure I use my words clearly, there's an approach that will work. I don't want to say a trick because it's not a trick. It's an approach that will at least clarify what's available to you. And this is a question most people fail to ask at any point in the relationship. But, I think that my, lead capture tool, right, when I produce one, is going to be these two questions, the two questions you have to ask, not should ask, not the top two questions, the two questions you must ask if you're going to build a key referral partner relationship. And the first is, and I'll role play with you, Scott, the reason I asked you to go to lunch with me is because I want to learn enough about your business, who you serve, how you serve them, and what resources you need to give you good leads, prospects, customers, contacts, and resources when you need it. And I would want you to do the same for me. Is that a relationship you're willing to pursue? Okay, because what you'll find is that, oh no, we do that in-house. We don't refer that out. Wouldn't you want to know that early?
Right.
Right. Now, if the wording only changes slightly, if you and I have already been hot and now I'm afraid it's drifting towards cold, right? It's almost the same. Scott, you and I have worked together well in the past, right? But I wanted to catch lunch with you today, or the Zoom with you today, or coffee with you today, or whatever you want to call it. I call them all paired interviews. And you know where I get that phrase from?
Yep.
Paired interviews, right? And, is that a relationship that we want to continue pursuing? Well, Dan, my brother-in-law went into your business and he knows I produce a lot of referrals and I can give you some, but if I don't give most of them to him, it's going to be really weird.
Yeah, it's the end of it.
I'm just not up for that. I need to, and when I give people space to tell me the truth, right, then I've got something to work with. Like, you're like, no, Scott, no, this is totally on me. I appreciate you coming to me. Yes, it's been on my mind that you dropped the ball with Susie Q, right? And I never really understood why, and I think I just kind of blamed you in the back of my head. Can you walk me through what happened there? And if I've got to take 100% responsibility, that builds trust.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I'm going to win it back, but at least they know I'm willing to own it, right? Rather than make excuses. But asking people, is this something you want to pursue? And this is particularly important for men and women because of men. Men categorically cannot tell the difference between kindness, friendliness, and flirtation. So when I sit down with somebody, male or female, because there's all tastes across the world, right? And I identify that the reason I've asked them to lunch, initially is because I'm trying to build a professional relationship here. Then they never have to wonder, right? Why is this guy asking me to lunch every month? Right. They never have to wonder if I'm friendly to him, is he going to get the wrong impression? They never have to wonder, what does my husband think of this guy meeting with me? Right. None of that. I'd set the tone early. And there's a huge benefit to that. And then the other question, because I've hinted at it, and this can apply here too, under what, right, meaning as you're building or trying to rebuild, still a legitimate question. The other of the two that you have to ask, under what conditions would you feel comfortable referring business to me? And that's key for a couple of reasons. Number one is because you now know what they expect from you. And what if their expectations are ridiculous? Well, you need to take me to Hall's Chop House and you're done once a month for a year. And then after that, we can see about it.
Yeah.
Great, Scott, I'm stepping off of this train right now.
Yeah.
What if they say, I'm pretty good with it right now. I know enough about you. I read your reviews. You know, you're referred to me as a referral partner. I'm willing to gamble at least a couple of leads with you right off the bat. Third reason it's important is you now have permission to ask for the lead. When you cross that bridge, when you meet that bar, when you met that standard, you now have permission to go, hey, Scott, who you got for me this week?
Yeah.
And they now have permission to give you the referral. They don't, well, let me check with Susie first. And it's subconscious, but they don't have to do that because they already said, when you ask, I will produce referrals.
Yeah. I love that.